Hi artists! Today we are going to be creating something that I call twisted ribbons, and I call it that because it looks like ribbons that are twisted. We've been talking a little bit about different colors. We talked about analogous colors, which are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. We talked about complementary colors. Those are opposite of each other on the color wheel. And then tertiary colors, which are made by combining a primary color and a secondary color together. So today what I'd like you to use is, I would like you to use some analogous colors. So you're going to use colors that are next to each other on a color wheel. I'm going to show you a few samples that I have. Some of them are complete and some of them are partially completed. So that's the first one. This one obviously I just used a pink, but you can see how I created the different values. So it gave it a little bit of shading. Here's another sample without any color on it. That's just the ribbon part. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ribbons, and they fill the paper. There's another that I started with the purples. Another one here. And then we have the last one here. Okay? So let me show you how to do this. It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of practice. But what you're going to do is you are going to go ahead. You're going to use pencil. I'm using marker just so I can save a step here. You're going to start from one side of your paper and kind of go in a diagonal direction all the way across. You're going to make a slightly curved line. You don't want to make it too curvy. So you can see I have some slight curves. So what we do is we're going to look for the bottom of the curve, or the hill you could say, and the top of the hill, bottom of the hill, and the top of the hill. You can see I just made a teeny tiny dot there. Now what you're going to do to make it look twisted is you're going to start off parallel. So you want to make sure that it's running right alongside this first line that we made. At the dots, you're going to cross your line over. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to cross it over. So it makes kind of like an X shape. Then I'm going to follow this. I want to try to keep it even, and then as I get closer, I can come in, and it crosses over. And go slowly again, cross it over, and cross it over. So you have your first ribbon there. I'm going to show you again, kind of slowly, just so you can get a better feel for it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to make a slight curve. Now when you get to that ribbon that's already there, you need to stop, pretend it goes through it, and then continue it on the other side. So I have my slightly curved line. I go ahead and find the tops and bottoms of the hill or the curve, or however you want to call it. I'm going to come around and I'm going to cross over gently. Notice I'm going very slowly. Make sure to stop. Continue here. Crosses over. And I see my dot, so I'm going to come closer, crosses over, and down. Now, so what you want to do is you just want to kind of fill the space of the paper. So I have some empty spaces here. So I'd like you to create maybe 4 lines so that you can fill the space of your paper up nicely. Again, you saw how I stopped there. I'm going to do one more coming, starting from this direction, stopping, going through, and maybe coming up over here. Top, bottom. That's kind of the top there. Okay, so this one's not as curvy, and that's okay. We'll still get a few lines that cross over there. Okay, so now I have all my lines done. Now to get to the part where we're adding color to it, I'm going to use chalk today. You can use chalk if you have that at home. If you have oil pastels, that's fine. But I want to pick 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. You could even do 4. That's up to you. I'm going to do a teal, because that's one of my favorites, a blue, and a purple. Okay, so those are my 3 colors I'm going to start with today. You can do different colors within the ribbon, like you saw on this one, or you can just do the same color ribbon like I did on this one. If you wanted to add some hearts because Valentine's Day is coming up, you could do that. Maybe you want to add some stars. It's up to you. So now what we do is, where we created those X's, I'm just going to go ahead and press pretty hard with my chalk. Now, if you don't have chalk or oil pastels, you can certainly use colored pencils. This works well with that, or you can use crayons too. That also works. Marker will not work for this project because we need to do some blending. So I started off by just coloring in, pressed pretty hard with my chalk right where those X's are. Now what I'm going to do, since I'm using chalk, I'm going to blend it with my finger. If you're using crayon, you're just going to have to draw lighter and lighter and lighter as you get towards the center. So I'm blending in the direction of my ribbon. So that's my first one. Now maybe I'm going to do this one. I think I'm going to do this blue color. It's like a royal blue. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start by pressing pretty hard near the X's, or where the ribbon twists. And then either wash your finger if you are using chalk or pastel, or use a different finger. I'm just going to use a different finger for this. So you're not coloring the whole ribbon in. You're just blending it together. You really don't want the whole ribbon colored in. This way it looks like it's kind of highlights. So if you are using crayon or colored pencil, you would do the same thing. You wouldn't color the whole ribbon in. Actually, I can show you how you might do it with colored pencil. I have colored pencils right here. So I'm going to do one of those with a purple colored pencil. So if you're using colored pencil, you would just press very hard, again, right where the ribbon twists or where the X is, and then you would just press lighter and lighter and lighter as you go towards the center. I'm going to do the same thing here. You still get the same effect, and you're using those analogous colors, which are the colors next to each other on the color wheel, so they all go together very nicely. So you have something like that. Okay, I hope you have fun with this. This is one of my favorite projects because these usually come out really, really nice, as long as you're following those directions. I'm going to put a direction sheet as well up in the documents under this assignment so that you can kind of take a look at that too if you needed some extra help. All right, can't wait to see what you did.